Alright guys, what's up? This is Joe G at Collecting with Joe G. This is my 2009 Hyundai Santa Fe, and I'm going to start a little series with this vehicle because I'm going to be customizing it, and today we're going to install a 12-inch sub and amp. So y'all be ready as I show y'all how we do it. So eventually we're gonna get some headlights, rims, all that good stuff, and basically what I'm trying to do in the future is just eventually get into buying and customizing vehicles and reselling them. But this is my daily driver. I'm just kind of wanting to customize it now that I got everything mechanically sound on it. We're gonna get some new headlights eventually, but today's episode is gonna be all about installing my my amp and sub. So hope y'all enjoy. I'll see y'all when we get ready to install it. I'm gonna shut this video off and go inside for now, but to y'all it's just gonna be a second that goes by, and we're gonna be tackling this thing and showing y'all how we do it. All right guys, so here's the package, and basically what we have is we have a wiring kit, we have the amp, and down at the bottom of the box, I'm assuming, is the speaker. It's a 12-inch sub that we're installing. So this wiring kit comes with everything we need. So we got 17 foot of the 4-gauge high performance power cable, 3 feet of 4-gauge high performance ground cable, the 17 foot double twisted RCA cable, the 20 foot 16-gauge multi-strand speaker wire, 17 foot of remote turn-on wire, 100 amp fuse, and the fuse holder. So yeah, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the power cable straight to the battery with the fuse holder, and then run that to the amp. The remote wire, what we're gonna do with that is I got a little toggle switch. We're gonna wire the remote wire to the switch, and then wire that switch back to the 12-volt power cable. Then we're gonna ground it, of course, and we also have an RCA speaker wire to RCA converter already in the vehicle, and that comes with a little bass knob. But basically we're going to tap into the speaker wires through the back doors. That's where we're going to tap into it, so we don't have to mess with the dash. We got a stock head unit. Eventually I'm probably going to change the head unit in time, but for now this is what we're going to do. Usually the aftermarket head units come with the RCA connectors already on them, so you don't have to tap into your speaker wires anywhere. But that's kind of how we're going to set it up. We'll see how it goes. So I'll meet y'all down at the truck. Let's get to working on this. And one other thing I forgot to mention, which I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but this kit is coming from Scar Audio. You can go to their website. I believe it's scaraudio.com, or you can just search it in Google and you should find them. They're running really good deals right now, so that's where I picked this up from. And I'm gonna give them a try. If I like them, I'm gonna stick with this brand in future builds. So y'all stay tuned. Alright guys, so this is everything laid out that came in the box. There's our 12-inch sub. And this is the little converter that we're going to use to convert the speaker wires into the RCA. There's our amp. And it also came with 2 decals. We're going to put those on each side of the car. And so yeah, we're going to go ahead and open this up and get to wiring. So I'll see y'all whenever I get ready to start wiring. Alright guys, first things first, before you work on anything electric, it's very important that you disconnect your negative terminal of your battery. That way there's no power getting to it. So we're going to wire this right into our positive battery. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut this maybe about that much, maybe a little bit more, and then we're going to wire it to this fuse, and then the other end is going to be on the other fuse going straight back to the amp. So we are going to mount this fuse right here on top of this fuse box holder. We got some screws that we're going to mount it to, and yeah, it'll stay right there. And this is the holder that goes on top of it. So yeah, I'll show y'all after we get all that wired what it looks like. Alright guys, so this is what we got so far. We got the wire going from the battery positive into the fuse, and the kit came with these little connectors here, insulator. So I put one of them on that end and crimped it down. You're gonna need a little crimp set. So I crimped it down, and I just wrapped it with some electrical tape. So we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna feed the wire into the interior of the car. I might need to poke a little hole, or I might come up through here somewhere. We'll figure it out, but whenever we get it, I'll let y'all know. But we're making progress, and we got this thing screwed in so it's not going anywhere. This is our fuse. Once it's done, this is just going to go over the top of this to protect it from the weather and everything else. So yeah, it's coming along. We're making progress. Alright, well that took me a little while, but I finally got it. So we got our fuse box here, got our fuse, and this wire, we decided to take it all the way down into the cabin filter and run it up under the glove box. So come around here, that's where it is. Just gotta wire it back to where the amp's gonna go, and yeah, making progress. It looks somewhat professional the way I got it. The fuse is mounted into the fuse box, going straight to the battery, going straight into our cabin filter. And I had to poke a hole in the little cover for the cabin filter to get it to come out the other end. That was the only way I could figure out how to get it. I was trying to feed it down through here on the other side of the fender, but what I was running into, if I would have done it like that, is every time I shut my door, I'd be shutting my door onto that wire, and eventually it would have caved in. You see, we got some of this part of the dash off because I was trying to feed it up under there any which way I could, but then I figured out cabin filter is probably the best way to feed it, so that's what we did. Ended up, I'll show you guys, hang on. We ended up poking a hole, as you can see, right on our cabin filter holder. Cabin filter's still there, the wire's just laying on top of it. Only bad thing about that is this wire is probably going to get dirty every so often. So every time I change the cabin filter, we'll probably just have to clean that wire where it's sitting in there, but that's okay. I can deal with that. All right, guys. Well, here we are. It's a couple days later from the previous filming, but we got everything wired and everything is running good. We ran the positive wire to this fuse, to the cabin filter, and we'll come back here, and it goes right into the amp. It's grounded right here to the chassis, and then we got RCA cables and a little remote switch. I'll show you how that works when we get up front. And got the REM wire connected to the speaker wire. We got our sub. Shout out to Scar Audio. They also sent these cool little decals, one on that side and one on that side. But let's jump in here because I'm going to kind of show you what we got going on for now. The reason I say for now, because we are eventually going to change this head unit. This is the stock head unit, but because we're using the stock head unit, we also had to wire in one of these, which this was probably the hardest part of the whole project. When I first started doing this, I was trying to tap into basically what this does is it converts speaker wire into the RCA cables, and then you run your RCA cables into the amp. When I first tried to do it, I was trying to tap right into the door speakers, right into the doors, but for some reason it wasn't working like that. So we went straight into taking all this apart to where we can get to our factory radio here, and we pulled this out, and then we also had to look up the manufacturing wiring setup to see which wires go to what. So we needed both the positive and negative rear speaker wires for both left and right. And so once we done all that, we were able to wire it in here. But then this also gets wired into the 12 volt and also into a switch. Hang on. Let me show you the switch real quick. Looks like the switch is falling down here. Right here. So basically, this allows us to turn the amp on and off. And yeah, that's how it works. But eventually, when we replace the radio with an aftermarket head unit, we will be able to get rid of this altogether, because we should be able to hook the RCAs straight into the aftermarket head unit. So then we can get rid of a lot of this mess when we do that. But basically, this controls the bass on the amp. But then this also controls the bass going into this. So we got two little knobs here that we can kind of control. But of course, once we get rid of this, we won't need this anymore. And then whenever we get our head unit, we will mount this where this one is right now. But that's kind of how we got it right now. We're going to leave all this trim off of it for now until we get to replacing the head unit. But it does work. I've hooked it up and I've tested it, and it's got some bass bumping. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned a little something on how to wire amp and the subwoofer. But have a good one.